This crap is really flipping messing with me all night. Been tossing and turning. First thing I think about before my eyes are even open is about my son and is he sleeping? Is he having a breakdown? How's he doing? He has all these mental health problems, and this is like his second or third time in like the last 2 or 3 weeks he's been in jail. But this is his first time he's been there, and his mind is more coherent. Um, if you watch my one of my previous videos, I posted a conversation between him and I, and he even stated, that his mind, he said his meds has his temper right, which, what he meant, which his temper ain't quite right. It's a little bit better, but he's bipolar, he's manic, he has anger, depression, anxiety, ADHD, and he has a hard time believing he has those problems. He doesn't want to take medication, and when he doesn't take medication, things get worse. And he likes to do drugs too, methamphetamines and mushrooms. And mushrooms make him go into a psychosis, and like he literally thinks he's the devil. He thinks I'm Thor, he's Odin. He can talk to people in the woods, and I've heard some outrageous stories come out of his mouth. It just blows my mind. But I've done a lot of research, and not a lot. I've done some research, and I'm trying to understand, where he's coming from. And his mind is generally gone right now. He's what the psychosis is like. He's here, but he's like in insane mode. Like literally, nothing is real to him right now, or during those moments. Right now, he's actually doing well, and that's what I was getting at. It's really bothering him being in jail. Things are sinking in, and he's hating it. He was crying on the phone. It makes me feel bad because when he's in his right state of mind, he's a good kid. He really is. He needs to learn to stay away from the wrong people, the wrong places. He's got to understand that he can't do any kind of drugs with his mental health problems, not even alcohol. Even alcohol makes him spiral out of control. The only thing I've ever seen him do, I'm not condoning it, but we live in Illinois, so weed is very rampant, but he does that a lot. I mean, it actually keeps him calm. He's 18 years old. I can't stop him. Even in my own house, I go down there and I'll catch him smoking in the house, and rant and rave and bitch, moan and complain. And what am I going to do? Throw him out? I throw him out, things are just going to get worse for him. He has mental health problems. So, I mean, I'm like stuck between a freaking rock and a hard place, man. I really am. Because I don't want to give up on him. I don't want to throw him out. Because I know if he doesn't have a roof over his head every single night, things are going to get worse for him. And a part of me wants to say it's not my responsibility, but it is my responsibility. He's my son, and I have. I feel like a lot of things that I had done when I was younger, kind of like bled on to him, you know what I mean? That toxic lifestyle. He never seen me do meth. I got clean off methamphetamines. It's been 22 years now. He's 18. I was clean before he was born. But he's always seen me smoke weed. Back in the day, I used to smoke weed all the time. I don't do weed now. I do dabs. But the one thing that is a problem, and I always kept him away from her. I've had custody of him since he was 2 years old, because his mother is a heroin addict, meth addict, the whole 9 yards, still to this day. when we were together, we got in trouble for meth, and that straightened me up. We were facing prison time. She actually did go to prison because she couldn't stay clean while she's on probation and just, walk that straight line. Me, however, I did. I had a life, that just needed to be on the right path. I didn't even have a son at the time when I got in trouble for meth, but it was sitting in jail, and I was scared of going to prison. I didn't even like the meth. I didn't even like the drug in the first place. It was the addiction that had me. And I got clean. 2 years go by, get off probation. Another year go by, and we have a baby, which was him. And during that whole entire time, even while I was on probation and she was on probation, like, she ended up revoking her. She went to prison. She just could never stay off the meth. And then I think there's a point in time where she might have been clean for a little while, but she was doing those freaking speeder pills all the time. Like, we back in the day, this was like 20 years ago, they were called yellow jackets and stuff. You go into the gas stations, you see those freaking pills that you help make you stay awake and all that shit. She used to take that crap all the time. And the messed up thing, see, that's one reason why I have issues with my mother's. She used to sneak those things to her, and I'm thinking, my kid. She was pregnant with my kid while she's doing all these fucking pills, man. And the doctors, because she's bipolar herself, and she had hepatitis, and so hepatitis is a liver disease, and it attacks her liver. She had hepatitis C, which is now curable. So the doctor would give her Vicodins for her pain because of her liver all the time. So my son had speeder pills, he had Vicodin, he had THC in his system when he was born. They couldn't keep his temperature up, so they had him in an incubator. I think that's what it's called, to keep him warm. I'm not for sure what it's called. And they decided to do testing, and they found all those things in his blood. And well, they started looking into it. The doctor had prescribed her Vicodin, so there's nothing they could do about it. And this was before weed was even legal. But they said they weren't going to pursue, DCFS wasn't going to pursue after the marijuana, so they let us leave from there. But right off the get-go, my son was doomed. He had freaking Vicodin and, amphetamines in his system and shit. And I didn't have mental health problems back then. I mean, they might have been there, but like, the only thing that I can remember me having problems with back then was anger. I was always very angry. That's been most of my life. I've always been a very angry person. I didn't realize my mental health until about halfway through my last marriage, which was very, very toxic. And but anyways, his mom's always been bipolar. She's schizophrenic too. So he was born with those drugs in his system, and from an early age he had ADHD, had learning problems, things like that. They tried to put him on Prozac and all kinds of weird stuff when he was younger, and I didn't like the way it made him act. So I took him off of it and put him on CBD drops and the gummies, and that worked great. And some years went by, and I felt like he got better. So I didn't give him nothing no more. Around 15, yeah, 15, 16. I think, like I said, I think drugs had a big problem with it because he got introduced to, mushrooms. I know he did meth. He told me he did meth with his mom. It's hard to tell what all he's done, I know he's done a lot of stuff. He's told me that. So over the last few years, from 15 to 18, he's been in and out of institutions, refuses to take pills, doesn't think he has a problem, gets in and, on and off drugs, and it's just become an issue. And for like 6 months up until he turned 18 last year in October. He was doing real well. He was taking drug tests. He was going to HRC counseling. And when 18 come, there was a program he was on, and they were making sure he was staying clean and doing things for him. It was like, it's called TACT, something like that. And he completed the program right before he turned 18 because they said, he's about to turn 18. He's doing well. Once he turns 18, we can't keep him on this program anyways. So we're going to go ahead and let him go. So they did so. From the time he turned 18 in October till about February of that following year, I'd started noticing a difference in his behavior again, his mental health. Like I said, it's not my first rodeo with him. And, well, surely enough, I had started doing a little digging, talking to people, and I found out it was mushrooms. I confronted the person. I'm even going to put the message in here. It is on Facebook. I found out who the person was. I confronted him, told him I'm gonna handle it myself. If you don't stop giving my son these drugs. He replied respectfully, "Okay, sir, I didn't know he had a problem." Bam. That's not the only person you're gonna get drugs from. He's an addict. He's gonna find the drugs. I know. I've been there. I've done that. So he kept doing them. He went off the hook again. Started getting on those mushrooms and doing meth, and next thing you know, it all spiraled out of control, and he caught himself 4 felonies. He's got a residential burglary. He's got assault on a police officer. He has destruction of government property because he destroyed a video camera while he was in jail. You know, and then he's got a trespassing charge while people were present. So 4 felonies he racked up in like 2 weeks. And he's currently sitting in jail right now, and it is just driving me nuts. And I talked with the public defender yesterday, and it's just not looking good. They want to send him to prison. I don't have the money to get him a real lawyer, and he needs one because this involves mental health, and he needs to go to a treatment center, not prison. He needs somewhere to get his mind straight, someone to keep him on track for a while, because Dad can't do it. I hate using that word can't and try. I don't use those words, but this is something that I can't do. I don't have the skills. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the resources. I don't have the facility, it's something bigger than me. So like I explained in another one of my videos, that I'm putting my story out there in hopes that it'll drive my views up, it'll get me subscriptions, it'll get me monetized, and I can go get my son a real lawyer, get him into a real treatment facility. I'm gonna show you guys, like, he's on state insurance, so we have very few options, and there are a few around here, but they have really horrible reviews. Not only that, there's one like 45 minutes from us, a long-term treatment facility, and I know people personally have been there. I've heard this place has been around for 20 plus years, and I guess it's just as easy to get drugs in there as it is out here. So I'm sure it's like that in a lot of places, but here's the thing: I do my due diligence on things before I, invest in it. And I don't like the reviews, and I don't like the things I've heard and the things I know about that place. There are a few other places I've looked into, and anything that's good, it's worthwhile, it's not on our insurance plan, his insurance, and it's like the cost is freaking ridiculous. $10,000 payment. They said they could do a partial $2,000. It's a total of like $24,000. And that was only 30 days. Like, you guys are nuts. I need my son somewhere for like 6 months to a year. What are we thinking there? 100,000, 200,000. Come on, people. Like, they wonder why there's an epidemic and there's problems in this world because they make treatment options far and few, and then what treatment options they have for those individuals that are uh, less financially able, those treatment options are shit because they have underpaid staff. You know, the morale's shit in their facilities because of underpaid, and so they get crappy staff members, and just their facilities are run like shit. And oh man, I have so much I want to ramble on and rant and curse, and it ain't gonna get me nowhere. But I'm gonna show you guys a series of videos of some of my son's behavior. I'm gonna show you guys the video that just transpired out here last week, where it doesn't actually show him breaking the police officer's nose, because I didn't get to see that until after the fact. But it shows him on the ground, and he's got this big old gash on his wrist because he had just punched a window out, and the police are just throwing him around. He's got a tourniquet on, but I didn't realize it at the time, and I'm over there. All I got's my pajamas on, and it was early in the morning, and shit just went down, and he was in his manic mode, and he went down the road to the neighbor's house, and he was banging on their trash can. The guy come out and told him to quit doing that. My son punched him in the face. The guy called the cops. The cops come. Well, in the middle of that, my son walked down here and punched a window out of my house, busted his wrist open, and it's a major gash. And so he's got blood dripping. There's blood all over our sidewalk and stuff. And the police come, and they're trying to talk with him. And of course, like I said, he's in manic mode. He freaking bam punches a cop in the face. And this is a cop that we know. I went to school with almost every officer in this town. I'm 45 next month. They're all my age. Some of them, like a few of them, are a little older, but the majority of them are all my age, a little bit younger. I've went to school with everyone that comes out here, just about. There's only like one or two officers I do not know. I feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for my son. I feel bad for the people in the neighborhood because, it's chaotic. They see us yelling at each other and stuff, and people don't understand. They just think it's just this toxic environment. And I mean, it is kind of right now because the situation is fucked. My son, I need him on his medication, which he is on that medication now, but oh my gosh, I don't know. I have a lot to tell you guys, a lot to show you guys, and again, like I said, people are gonna frown on it because I'm putting my story out there. But I had previously had stated, all these things that had transpired the last few weeks have been all over Facebook. Between those events that had taken place at people's houses, they decided to put it on Facebook. They put it on our community page so that everybody goes on and talks about and gossips and fucking talks shit. I got an ex-wife that everybody tells her every freaking thing, and she's making a big fuss about it, and she's trying to stop my other two kids from coming here, and she always calls DCFS on me, and I've been investigated by DCFS 12 times in the last 5 years. 12 times, all been unfounded. I'll show you guys that in another video. At least 3 times every summer my kids come, I get a DCFS call. Sometimes when they're gone, before they come, whatever fucking wild hair's up her ass. It's just a lot of drama, man. I'm just sick of it. I really am. We almost got the house paid off, and our goal is, I have a big ass camper out here, but it needs a little bit of remodel. The roof is bad, and the front part of it, the water got to it, so I gotta repair the ceiling. There's just some damage, but it's not impossible. It's something I can do. But we want to take our food truck and we want to go, because where we're at now during the wintertime, we completely shut down. Makes it hard for us to make any money. I'm self employed. The reason is I have some health problems. My back, my hips are bad. It makes it hard for me to work a regular job, sit and stand for too long, not be able to take breaks when I need to. So I want to bother me no more. But I still have some anger and anxiety really bad. I can get stuck in my head. Like, that's why I'm up 4 o'clock in the morning. It's about 7 now. But my brain wouldn't shut off thinking about my son. And I just rambled on too, so it is what it is. I don't know. Share, like, follow, guys. I need to get monetized. I need to get some money to get my son a lawyer, uh, to get him in treatment. My food truck alone isn't going to make the kind of money I need. We're talking thousands upon thousands of dollars. Yeah, I can make that in a food truck, but you know what? YouTube can get me that in 1 month's pay. So uh, I'm I'm leaning toward the people to help me out here. I don't know. I don't have nothing else to say. I mean, I got plenty to say, but right now I'm just going to shut up because I've already rambled on a lot. It is what it is. Appreciate you guys taking the time, listening. If you comment, that's even better. I appreciate it. If you've been through this situation, you have a child or loved one, a family member with mental health problems, let me know how you deal with these things, how you handle it, what kind of help you've gotten for them. That's that is one thing I'm hoping to gain from this, is running into people that have been there and done that and can help steer me in the right direction. Because, like I said, I've exhausted what resources I have out here. Now that he's 18, it's even harder. I do have power of attorney I just got over him, so that helps a little bit. But we also have, certain rules that have to be followed, especially when it comes to mental health here in Illinois. So I can't just put him into an institution now, especially now that he's 18. I don't know. Rambling on again. I'm out, guys. Thanks for watching.
You guys see that old hag on the porch right there? She thinks everything about my son's mental health situation is fun. So, I'm gonna put her on my YouTube channel today and let everybody make a mockery of her. Every time something happens with my son's mental health, she's the first one out on the porch laughing and making fun of it. She thinks it's all fun and games. So she's going on my YouTube channel today. Her name is what? Travoli. Linda. So, look at your Karen ass on YouTube. Just getting by in 2025. That's my YouTube channel. You'll be on it.